Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Efiko podcast. We are happy to have you back for today's episode. This week, we got a WhatsApp message all the way from the United Kingdom from someone who listened for the first time to our podcast on Spotify. Well, that's the beauty of our borderless and interconnected world. For our new listeners, the Efiko podcast is a community of professionals, business owners, and generally people looking to learn and improve in their work, in their business, and in their lives. My name is Omagbitse Barrow, and I am your online Efiko. Efiko is a Nigerian slang from the 1990s that means a nerd, someone who you can rely on to solve your problems. Welcome again and stay tuned to find out what the Efiko has in store for you today. Mrs. T is writing from the UK, and here is what she said. Hello, Mr. Barrow. I got a link from a friend at work and listened to your podcast and decided to give it a try. I work in oil and gas in Scotland, and I just got feedback from our 360-degree review that I need to improve my coaching skills as a manager. What should I really be doing? I believe that my goal at work is to drive results from my team. I am not sure how coaching helps. It's a totally loaded question. But first, let me thank you for listening and deciding to share your question and your challenge with us. Without contributions from listeners like you, we will not have content to share. So we are very grateful. I think that a 360-degree feedback like you have received is awesome. And if it says that you need to become better at coaching, then you should take it seriously for a couple of reasons. Firstly, 360-degree reviews, when done properly, harness the wisdom of the crowd, and that is often quite correct and precise, considering the diverse views and inputs that were taken during the 360-degree review. The second reason, which speaks more powerfully to your question, is that coaching is perhaps the single most powerful tool that any leader has at their disposal today to drive results in their people. And that I will now explain. You see, coaching is about having non-prescriptive conversations with people where you help these people to identify their goals, to explore options, various options to achieving these goals, and then you create an accountability system for them to implement those actions, to learn, to grow, and ultimately to achieve the goals. So when you say that your job is to get results, well, coaching is going to help you get those results better than anything else. To be effective at coaching, I believe that first you must be willing to embrace it for yourself. So in addition to whatever answers and suggestions I will try to give you right away, I will certainly recommend that you decide at some point pretty soon to get an executive coach for yourself. But back to your question. If you can have a conversation, think about this, with each person in your team, the good ones, the bad ones, the ones in the middle, where they were honest enough to share their challenges, reflective enough to identify specific goals and activities that will help them to overcome those challenges, and committed enough to work with you to actually implement them, then boy, your results and your performance will hit the roof. There will be absolutely nothing that will stop you from getting the results that you want, And all of this will be because of coaching. So, in practical terms, there are a couple of things that you can do right away to start becoming the coaching manager that your colleagues, based on the feedback, need you to be. First, rather than always prescribe solutions to problems that your team members bring to you, challenge them to think for a change. So let's say one of your guys, Ian, comes in and says he has a problem with responding to a client. Don't immediately say, well, Ian, what you've got to do is X and Y and so on. Rather, ask Ian questions like, have you been in a situation like this before? What did you do? Did it work? What could you have done differently? You see, by asking questions and challenging Ian to think, he will start to figure out answers to his problems and start to self-coach himself so that the next time he would say, you know what, I have a problem with XYZ, but I'm thinking about two options. It's either we ACP or we DEF. So questioning and challenging people to think is one powerful way of honing your coaching skills. The second thing, which is an area that I personally struggle with as a coaching leader, is to tone down the judgment. So when Meg, your other colleague, doesn't do something properly, rather than point out all the details, here's what: you could challenge her to identify what her mistakes were by herself. The truth is that most people are quite defensive, so she may stall and pretend like she hasn't done anything wrong, which is a response that I get from time to time. But guess what? It's okay. People will come around to these techniques after some time. If Meg does respond, make sure you celebrate the fact that she has taken ownership and then try to support her, in trying to avoid this error in future. If, like many people, for the first time, she doesn't respond, then don't dwell on it. Give it some time and keep challenging her through your questioning to get her to think about some of the things that she may have done wrong. And then, if you can find a story or an anecdote to help her to improve her self awareness, then use such a story. You see, it's because coaching is about playing the long game sometimes rather than looking for short term wins. I honestly believe that coaching skills will make a huge difference to you and your team and will certainly improve your capabilities as a leader. Like I said earlier, a good place to start will be to get some coaching for yourself so that you can experience firsthand the immense value of non-prescriptive conversations, reflective thinking, and challenging questioning that coaching offers. You see, coaching just gives all of us clarity in ways that we never imagined. I hope that the rest of you, our listeners, have also found this useful and can start taking steps to unleash the power of coaching on yourselves and on your teams. If you would like to ask questions regarding your personal, professional, or organizational development and have them discussed in a professional way for the benefit of a larger audience on this program, please send us an email to questions@onlineefico.com. You can also send us a WhatsApp message to +234 818 195 6161. If you have enjoyed this episode and you would like to keep listening and learning with us, please visit www.onlineefico.com and click on the podcast and subscribe. You can also go back and listen to some of our old episodes and all the rich content that is available. Until next time, my name is Omagbitse Barrow. and I am your online air